Hello and welcome. It is that time again where I am doing June's TBR. And as usual, I'm going to pick 10 books based on a tarot deck and add them to my TBR for the month. So today's tarot deck is called the Dreamkeepers Tarot, and that is the deck that I will be using to get today's prompts. So let's get started. First card out of the deck is the Two of Swords. And for the Two of Swords, we have read a book with multiple POVs. So for me, I have decided to pick the book Private Rites by Julia Armfield. I didn't love her other book, Wives Under the Sea, but it was intriguing enough that I want to give her another shot. So I believe that this one is a queer litfic sort of speculative horror book, and it's supposed to be about three sisters, so I'm assuming you'll get POVs from all the sisters, navigating queer love and faith at the end of the world. Old places have been lost, arcane rituals and religions have crept back into the cracks, and then their father dies. And it says that perhaps their inheritance may not be theirs alone. So that is my choice for the prompt, Two of Swords. Private Rites by Julia Armfield. So the next book that I picked is The Knight of Wands, and this prompt says, read a book set in a different time period or a world different than our own. So for this card, I have decided to go with fantasy because instantly different world, different rules, all that thing. And I've gone with a romantasy. So this is called How to Fake It with a Fae, 7 Suitors for 7 Witches by Amy Boyles. And it says, a brooding fae king bent on revenge meets his match in this hilarious modern romance. So basically you have a book lover named Addison Thompson who can match you with a perfect read but cannot match herself in romantic love. And if she doesn't marry quickly, she will lose her family's witch magic. So this is where I guess Phelan, King of the Fae, who has no interest in romance, comes in. I won't say anymore. I think we can guess the plot, but that is my choice, How to Fake It with a Fae by Amy Boyles. So next up, we have the Seven of Pentacles. And for this card, it's read a book that you believe is an investment into yourself or self-care. And it's called Beautiful Chaos on Motherhood, Finding Yourself and Overwhelming Love by Jessica Ehrlichs. I think the cover is gorgeous. That's kind of what caught my eye. And it says, motherhood is messy and beautiful, hard and humbling. Beautiful Chaos is a collection of raw, honest poems about motherhood, capturing everything from pregnancy to school age. And either way, they will make you feel seen and comforted amidst the beautiful chaos that is motherhood. So that is my choice for this prompt. So the next card is the Nine of Pentacles. And for this one, it says, read a book with one main character. And for that one, I am choosing The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. This was on my list and I was excited for it, but I have seen so many people now review it and rave, and I'm even more excited for it to come into the library so I can read it immediately. So this is basically a litfic with some magical realism, and it's a book that delights in how do we navigate life, love, and choice in a world of never-ending options. So basically you have a woman named Lauren who returns to her flat, and one night a man comes down from the attic and says that he's her husband. But then the next day, that man disappears and another man replaces him. So day after day, she gets new husbands coming out of her attic. And it said, if swapping lives is as easy as changing a light bulb, how do you know when you've taken the right path? And it just sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm very, very excited for this one. So that was my choice for this prompt, The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. So the next card that I pulled was the Hermit card, and this says, read a book you think that you can read in a sitting. So something that's quick and easy. So for this, I have an arc called Lavender Clouds by Ben Ollerton and Schnum. Sorry if that's not how you pronounce it. And it says, Lavender Clouds is a collection of autobiographical comics about mental health, neurodiversity, and feeling. So I will whip that out really quick, and the illustration style from the cover looks like it's super cute. So my choice is Lavender Clouds by Bex Ollerton and Schum. So my next card is the Fool card, and this says, read a book by a new to you author. So I have chosen In the Garden of Echo by H.S. Wolfe. The cover of this, stunning. Anything with the birth of Venus, I'm into. It is meant to be a queer horror, and it says that Echo and Ender have existed nearly as long as the earth itself. They're hungry, in love, and indestructible. but the mess they've left in their wake starts their prey on the path of discovering that they are not what they seem. It sounds fascinating. It says it's an erotic botanical horror about two codependent monsters born to torture the human race for their sins against the earth. Like, what? However, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my hands on this, so I already looked. Naturally, I was enraptured with this, so I went to my library. They don't have it. I will do a search across all libraries in Victoria, because sometimes you can get interlibrary loan. You normally have to pay, but that's fine. Because after I couldn't find it in my libraries, I went online, and Amazon seems to be the only bookseller that has it. I will try and do a bigger search, obviously, but even with Amazon, they won't sell to Australians. So they won't ship the book here, nor can I get it on their Kindle. Even Amazon Co. UK, same situation. It's not available to you. So I don't know if I can get my hands on this. I really bloody want to, because it sounds fascinating. If not, I'll have to swap it with something else. But I really hope I find it, because yeah, this sounds quite tantalizing. Sorry for the angle change, but I had to pop off my knees. I can't sit on my knees for that long. Not in the habit of kneeling anymore. Okay, so the next card I pulled is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant says, read a book of poetry. So for this one, I'm picking All the Good Things You Deserve by Elaine Feeney. It says, how do we love, trust, and create in the aftermath of trauma? How do we name and speak that love? So that is the book of poetry that I am choosing. So the next card I pulled is the Knight of Swords, and it says, read a book featuring character on a mission or a quest. And I have nailed this one. I have picked Of Deeds Most Valiant, which is part of the Poison Saints series by Sarah K.L. Wilson. And you literally got knights with swords, okay? Like, they're paladins, same thing. So it says, 11 paladins walk into a monastery. Only one knows it's a trap. When Victoriana Greenmantle is summoned to represent her paladin order in an unusual quest, the timing couldn't be worse. So literally a paladin on a quest. It says that it's a high fantasy romance with demons. So I'm excited. I love me a fantasy with demons and romance and chicks with swords, you know. Yes, thanks. So that is my choice, Of Deeds Most Valiant by Sarah K.L. Wilson. The next card that I pulled is the Judgment card. And for Judgment, read a book that you've DNF'd or finish a book that you've been wanting to read for a long time. So for this one, I have picked The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. I've had this on my TBR for ages. It says it's fantasy, horror, sci-fi, you know, it's one of those ones where they just stick every genre on it. But it says, a missing god, a library with secrets to the universe, a woman too busy to notice her heart slipping away. Oh, it might also be urban fantasy, because it says Carolyn's not so different from other people. She likes guacamole and cigarettes and steaks and how to use a phone. Interesting. The Library at Mount Char is at once horrifying and hilarious, mind-blowingly alien, and heart-breakingly human, sweepingly visionary, and nail-bitingly thrilling, and signals the arrival of a new voice in fantasy. Okay, so that is my choice, The Library at Mount Char. The final prompt is The Fates. This is also known as the Wheel of Fortune card, and this said, read a book that represents your favorite season. So for me, as a perpetually cold-blooded person, I like summer. I like feeling warm, and the vitamin D does things for me. So I am choosing the book Chlorine by Jade Song. So it's queer horror. It seems like I've got a thing for queer horror now. And it says it's in the vein of the Pisces and the Vegetarian. So I've read the Pisces, and it's weird and it's messed up, but I like it. Maybe I need to put the Vegetarian on my list as well. And it says it blurs the line between a literary coming-of-age narrative and a dark, unsettling horror tale, told from an adult perspective on the trials and tribulations of growing up in a society that puts pressure on young women and their bodies. It says that the main character says that Renu is a swimmer, and she will do anything she can to make a life for herself where she can be free, no matter the pain, no matter what anyone else thinks, no matter how much blood she has to spill. For some reason, I just think of that scene in Jennifer's body in the pool. Like, that's what comes to mind in this. So that is my choice, but I'm also going to do another one. It's a 2-for-1 deal. Buy one, get one free. I have a book that I bought for Valentine, and it's about, I can't remember what it's called, but I'll put a picture up here. I'm pretty sure it's called something to do with summer, and I did want to read that before she reads it, just in case. I just like to read some books that might be a bit more litficky and might have some triggering themes in there, so I'll put that one up there as well. But those were all of my choices for the June TBR. Do let me know if you've read any of those books or if you've also got some of those on your TBR. And until next time, stay well, Star Child.